Hey everybody, my name is ChazzyBoy1234, and you may not know me, you may know me, but this is a little product video today, and this is my beautiful, amazing Yamaha DTX 520K drum set, and I've had this for a bit over a week now. I want to back up so you can kind of see the whole set a little bit better. And let me start off by saying this kit is a monster. This thing is so cool. It retails, I got it for like $8.50. It retails $9.99, and it's really a nice kit. And I'm gonna start going in a little bit more in depth. Just give me 2 seconds here. Right now I have my Beats hooked up to the module, but I'm gonna plug in the amp. And just so you know, the sound is gonna sound like crap. Don't let it fool you. The sounds of the singers are stellar, but this is a guitar amp, and you should use keyboard amps, or at least a decent amp, to my knowledge. And this is a fucking guitar amp, and I need a keyboard amp. So it doesn't sound good through the amp, but please don't let that fool you. I'm gonna go to kit number 1, which is called Oak Custom. Oh, would be nice to have the amp on, wouldn't it? The sound's a bit low. I'm sorry, it's a little bit late at night and this camera angle is really shitty. I'm sorry, but I don't have a tripod or anything to use right now. But let me give you an idea. This is the DTX pad with a TCS coating. It's a silicone material, and it feels really good. It feels similar to a real head. You know, it's got rebound, but it's not like those mesh heads where you're like bouncing like way up here, you know? I think it's pretty realistic, the most realistic feeling head I've ever felt. Sorry for those fingers. And it's got, pretty sure, 3-zone triggering, just a standard snare, rim shot, and then rim only. And I love this snare. And if you buy the more expensive DTX drums, you get this padding on your toms, and that would be really nice, but unfortunately I couldn't afford that. But let's move on to the toms while we're talking about them. These are single zone, unfortunately. You know, they only do that noise. They don't have rims or anything, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me, but if I had, you know, these DTX pads, that'd be nice. But these are like $300 a pop, so don't expect to just go out, get this kit and get DTX pads, because you're gonna be looking at $900 at least. Let's move on to the hi-hat. This is just, you know, a rubber pad, just standard, and I'm pretty sure it's got 3 zones: edge, and then hi-hat, and then the bell. Maybe it's only got 2 zones actually, I'm sorry. There's no difference on the bell. Alright, moving on. We got the crash here. This is 3 zones. There's a bell, crash, crash edge. And you can assign different sounds to each zone on each pad. Obviously not the toms, because I mean you can, but the toms only have 1 zone, you know, so you can't do multiple zones. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. Moving on to the ride symbol here. The ride is really nice. It's bigger, obviously, which is how ride should be. And you got 3 zones. You got your bell, you got your ride, then you got your ride edge, which is really sweet. That ride is really nice. And then down here, you know, just got a standard kick pad. I got a DW3000 double bass pedal here, along with my hi-hat pedal right next to it, and pretty nice. I kind of suck at double bassing. You know, I'm very new to double bass. This is the first double bass I've ever owned, so I'm still trying to get that down. But let's move on to the module. you got a couple nice little features going on with this thing. Let me get up close to it so you can see it better. And let me start off by saying, unfortunately, there are no additional inputs. You cannot add any more cymbals or toms or anything. It's maxed out, fresh out of the box, which is unfortunate. And let's see what it's got. It's got headphones, aka amp. It's got auxiliary in, and I'll show you this cord leads to my iPod, and I can play along to music going through the module, which is wonderful. Let's see, we got just right and left out, which is a little weird. I'm not sure exactly what that would do. I would just think this, use the headphones, and then maybe use a splitter. It seems more simpler. And then there's a MIDI out, which is nice for all you music makers out there. And let's see, we got 70 kits, but I think there's only 50. The other 20 are custom. Yes, number 50 is the last kit, and then the rest are user kits. And I'm gonna show you just how to set up a kit, kinda. Let's adjust number 67. I don't use that one. Alright, so what you would do is you would hit page right, and now it's gonna bring up your different, you know, types of pads. And for each zone, just so you know, if you hang on, I'm gonna grab my sticks on the ground here, so if it's shaking, I'm sorry. Okay, so watch this. It says snare right now. I'm gonna hit the hi-hat. That means hi-hat open, and you can adjust what you want your hi-hat open to be. So what you do is you're gonna hit right, and that's gonna see if you want to change your hi-hat to something weird. Change it to a tom, change it to a kick. Just simply go right or go left, and then choose what you want. And then from there, like let's say you wanted the hi-hat to be let's make the hi-hat a snare. So we've decided we want a snare, so we hit right, and then we scroll through all the different types of snares, which is nice. And you can see right here, I'm hitting the hi-hat open, and it's a snare. And let's bring us back to reality here. Let's put it back to a hi-hat. Okay. And that's that. Essentially what you do is you just, to select what you want to edit, you hit it, and then you hit page to, I'm going to get really close, and you see H. That means whatever you're changing your cymbal or tom to, that's what you're changing it to. You're changing it to a different type of pad or head or whatever. And then you hit page right to choose from those options. Like right now I'm on hi-hat, so I choose different hi-hats. And let's see what else features we got here. There's groove check, which is essentially like a metronome. I think what you have to do is you click groove check and you create your groove check here. It's a long and kind of confusing process. I don't really use groove check too much, but then essentially, there we go. It's doing eighth notes at 190 beats per minute. It's a little loud, and that's really all I know that the kit can do. It can play songs as well, and it looks like it can record. But here's my alternative to recording, assuming it can record. It says right there, record. So who knows, but I would not recommend that. Here's what I recommend doing. Let's get back to drum kit. You can see that there's a headphone out right here. I would recommend buying, first you would need a 1/4 inch adapter. I got one right here. It converts 3.5 millimeter, standard stereo cable, to 1/4 inch for, guitars, amps, stuff like that. You would get one of these connectors and then connect it to a 3.5 millimeter male-female cable. And on the male side, it plugs into the adapter. On the female side, plugs in a stereo splitter. And on one end of the stereo splitter, is gonna be your headphones, and the other end of the stereo splitter goes all the way over to your computer and into your microphone input. And then get a program like Audacity or Sony Vegas, and all you really have to do from there is just record, have a good time, clip how you want it. And just so you know, when you're editing, these cymbals and making your own kit, there is a lot more you can do within that. For example, you can make your snare more loud, or you can make it more quiet, and the list goes on and on. This kit is incredible. Only downside it really has, in my opinion, is that it's already maxed out. The module's already maxed out, fresh out of the box, so you can't add any toms or cymbals. And, that kind of makes me a little sad, because I would prefer 4 toms, 3 cymbals, or even just 3 cymbals. But I believe, what really got me on this drum set was this TCS padding. The material is unbelievable, and it's really responsive. The dynamics on it are good, like quiet. Which is pretty nice. It's about as realistic as drum sets come as far as I'm concerned. So again, I apologize for all these bad angles. I don't have a good tripod or anything like that, so I just kind of have to do this by hand. So I think that's the end of it. We got Yamaha DTX 520K. I totally recommend these, and I'm obviously not being paid by Yamaha to do this. This is simply my opinion. If I said these things suck, I would say these things suck, but they don't. And you're gonna have fun setting them up, because it took about 2.5 hours. But other than that, it's really fun. I'm having the time of my life with this kit, rubbing it so sensually. Alright, so get this kit. I'm gonna stop rambling now. Have a good day, and bye-bye.